Welcome back to Edinburgh Fest Live, and our final part in today's show. I'm just about recovering from the images we've had from Hairy Mary. And of course, remember folks at home, don't try that at home. It's 1,000 degrees, most ovens won't go that high. Anyway, if you're looking to follow us on Twitter, then it's at EdinburghFest_live. Right, we've got Suze with the news, and she has a unique take on news headlines. That's coming up just in a few minutes. But first of all, can I welcome Glen Moore? Hi, Glen.
Hi.
Welcome to our crazy show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So I wanted to know, so I hear this is your debut in the Fringe as a is it stand-up?
Yes, as a stand-up, yeah. It's my first sort of hour-long show. I've been up the last 3 years with a sketch duo called Thunderbirds, but I've decided to see if I can sort of do a George Michael, drop him, and sort of do it on my own. Time will tell whether or not I'm sort of the other one that no one talks about, but you know.
Keep all the money for yourself.
Yeah. Will I be the next Andrew Ridgeley? Let's find out.
And what's your show based on?
So the show is called Glen Glen, which has got absolutely no bearing on what the show is about at all. But most people always sort of say, write what you know about, and I don't really sort of know a tremendous deal about anything at all, so I've sort of kept it quite sort of introspective. So it's about growing up in a very, very small village for most of my life, and then suddenly, at the age of 18, having to move to a big city and being in that sort of fish out of water situation. It's pretty much the plot of George of the Jungle.
Awesome. Now, I read something which I thought was quite interesting. It's reported you had a tweet made, and the Sun newspaper made it into the top 5.
Unfortunately, yes. Had it been any other newspaper, I would have been delighted. But no, it was an absolute treat to sort of be included in that. But they sort of had a short list of about 20 tweets or so that they'd chosen, and people had to sort of vote. So it was a really sort of stressful few weeks of having to sort of create new accounts, keep voting for myself every day. You know, it gets tiring after a while. But.
And was there nudity involved or something? Is that why it went into the top 5?
No, although I'm yet to appear topless in any sort of tabloid, but give it time, I'll one day make my parents proud.
Right, and so how long of a career have you had in comedy, and how's it come along? How long have you been at this?
So I'd say my first ever gig was about 5 years ago, just at sort of a student open mic night, and then my next gig was later on that year. I sort of didn't really do much for about a year after that. I'd say 2013 was when I sort of properly started. I decided to sort of move to London, try and gig every single night, do any sort of meaningless temp job I could during the day, and then have to keep driving to like Devon or Newcastle or whatever every single evening.
Or Scotland.
Or Scotland on some occasions, yeah. And sort of go there, just do a few minutes, and then have to sort of drive back in time to sort of do some more admin and spreadsheets in the morning.
So what were you going to do before you decided to become a comedian?
Well, I was working as a newsreader at a few radio stations, which I still sort of do from time to time. And it was quite odd sort of having two very sort of vastly different jobs, and one that's sort of so traditionally deadly serious, and then having to just sort of be an idiot on stage every evening.
So it's a bit like being Batman.
Yeah, absolutely, but with significantly smaller salary.
Oh, smaller salary, okay.
And both parents intact, so...
Okay. Oh yes,
1-0 Bruce.
And so what's next after Edinburgh, after the Fringes?
I guess sort of time will tell. I'm going straight after Edinburgh. I'm going to LA and San Francisco to hopefully sort of do a few shows there, and then back to Edinburgh to sort of underwhelm the new batch of students for a couple of shows, and then hopefully see what happens. It just depends on how this Edinburgh goes. I'm only a few shows in at the moment, so got to see how the rest.
And so where and when is the show?
So I'm on at 6 o'clock every day at Just a Tonic in a place called The Caves, and so my room is a literal cave / dungeon. And
how's it gone up until now?
It's been lovely. It's been lovely. Reviews have been nice. Audiences have been delightful. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm worried I'm going to sort of at some point acquire some sort of archaic disease from performing underground for an hour every day. So whether or not I sort of get the black lung or scarlet fever.
No, that's been gone for a couple of 100 years.
Well, I'm bringing it back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Scarlet fever. And I take it you've noticed Edinburgh's nightlife stays open until 3 in the morning during the festival.
Yes.
And how's that going?
It's been absolutely fine. I really sort of enjoy it to some extent. On Saturdays I get scared and stay in, but for the most of the week, No, it's really, really pleasant. I mean, sort of like, it is very much sort of a takeover from people sort of outside of Edinburgh. I mean, everyone I've encountered in Edinburgh who is from Edinburgh has been really, really lovely. And so too are the people, and certainly I'd take them over irritating drama students on the Royal Mile every day.
And you'll have noticed our wonderful tram system. Have you been on that yet?
No, I have actually once, because last year I was doing a show which was just sort of like a work in progress. And my flyers, which obviously you have to spend hours handing out every day, hadn't been delivered to my home. So I was told they were at a depot and I just needed to get the tram. And so straight after my show and a couple of hours before my next one, I nipped on the tram, and the tram just went straight past the depot and took me to the airport.
That's where it goes.
I couldn't do my show because I was at an international station.
It's wonderful, isn't it? I prefer the bus myself. Listen, remind me again, where is your show? Is it the Tiviot?
So the show is called Glen Moore, Glengarry, Glen. It's 6 o'clock every day at the Caves.
At the Caves. Wonderful. Can we please give a round of applause for Glen? So if you've just joined us, you've missed a fantastic show, but you can go back and rewind it on YouTube. But now it's time for our ever cheerful and more informed than most, Susie with the news.
Hi everyone, I'm Suze with the news. News with Suze. Haven't even bothered putting shoes on today. My cat died yesterday, and on my way into work. And when I came back home from work last night, my cat that I'd buried during the day yesterday had been dug up. Don't know who would do that. So I can't even properly grieve. Missed now. So less about me, eh? And we'll get into the actual news of the world, but I only want to read cheery stories, as you can probably understand, because of my recent grief. So I'm just going to go for the happy things that have been happening in the world today, folks. The feral children behind one crime every hour. Young thugs have unleashed a crime wave. An army of feral children is causing havoc across Scotland, committing one crime every hour. It's not exactly what I wanted to go for a start, so I'm just going to put that to the side and try and find something a bit cheerier. Man dies after leaning out of train window. A passenger died yesterday after leaning out of a train window and being hit by another train. It is understood. That's not what I wanted to see today. What have we got next? My eyes were not lying to me. 3 sightings of big cat in Cornwall. There's a lion on the loose in Cornwall, everyone. I just don't know what to do about this. What have we got? Cyclist blast course after horror crash. We've got the problem pages, shall we? Hopefully someone's worse off than me. Distraught after losing pet. Dear Colleen, I don't suppose you get many letters like mine, but I lost my beloved little dog last month after having him put to sleep due to several health issues. Since then, I've never felt so down in my life. He's the first thing I think of in the morning and the last thing I think of at night. People have told me to get a grip, as he was just a dog. I know how you feel. To the outside world, perhaps he was, but to me, he was my baby. Please tell me I'm not going mad. I don't have time to read out what Colleen's reply was, but I can tell you she is not going mad, because my cat died yesterday and no one seems to care apart from me. Crossword, anyone? 4 letters for shed tears. Weep. I don't believe it. A 4-letter word for a thin fog. Mist. See if we can find it. Wrestled by fiancé, fears grow for troubled Lindsay Lohan. I thought she was getting her life together. I really did. Man dies in knife attack after party. He was at a party. A gothic conjuring of loneliness and grief played in plain sight. That's a review of a show at the Fringe, but it sounds like a review of my life right now. What can I do about the wrinkles in my cleavage? So much to look forward to, eh? I think that's all I've got time for,
Sue,
David.
I think that's all we can all take at the moment. I'm terribly sorry for your sad news. For Suze with the news, everybody. So join us again tomorrow at the same time, same channel, channel 266 on Sky. Catch up via YouTube. Tomorrow, I'm being replaced, thankfully, you'll be pleased to hear, with comedian Eric Lampard presenting the show tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye.
To be born, dash me through the curtains that our kisses have outworn. Raise a tent of shelter now, though every thread is torn. Dance me to the end of love. Dance me to the end of love. To your beauty with a burning violin. Dance me through the panic till I'm gathered gently in. Touch me with your